Thank you, councillors, staff. Welcome to this Audit and Risk meeting. The cheery news is 2 months today and it'll be Christmas Day, so something to look forward to. So how's that? Okay, call for apologies. We do have one from Councillor Brahm. Would someone like to move? We accept that. Thank you, Liz. Seconded Carolyn. All those in favour? Aye. Carried. Thank you. Extraordinary business? No of none. Declarations of interest? Yes, so just there's been an updated agenda sent through for this, and the trans waste thing is now coming into the open meeting. We don't need to move that? No. Okay, thank you. Okay, confirmation of minutes. Someone like to move? Thank you, Councillor Cameron. And Murray, thank you. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Okay. So were we going to do item 6 first? EA Networks. Welcome again, Richard, and we'll talk through your report there on page 5. Has anyone got, have you got anything to add, or?
Through the chair, no, nothing to add to this report.
Thank you. Any questions, councillors? No.
Mr. A lot of information there. Could Richard perhaps highlight any things we should be aware of?
Sarah?
Through the chair, a deeper dive is our intention, but not quite yet.
Cool.
The internal rentals, that's effectively the cost of the council business itself that gets apportioned to different things, isn't it?
Internal rental, through the chair, internal rental is the charges to EA Network Centre from property for the building. I think the other option that you're referring to is council overhead, is some of the other charges that come to us from council itself.
Okay. Murray, do you have a question?
Oh no, it's just the appendix 1 is the financials which support the written number 6 agenda item, correct? Just trying to marry those two up. Is that?
Through the chair. Appendix 1 being Trans Waste Annual Report.
Now, Appendix 1 is a one-pager, which in my pack, which is EA Network Centre income and expenditure. Is that?
He's referring to that page there. Appendix.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Oh. That's item 5.
That's what we've got. That's what we've got on there.
Yes, yes.
That's it.
Have I got a different pack?
Yes.
There was a new one emailed through an hour or so ago, bringing the trans waste agenda out, but I don't think this changed. So,
Okay, well,
Sarah, do you have?
Through the chair, I believe you're looking at page number 5, Murray, and it has EANC's profit and loss at the end of August. It doesn't have a covering report, it's just the financials.
Yes, no, so I'm looking at a page which, yes, page 5, and it's got Appendix 1 at the top, ADC EA Networks Income and Expenditure, 31 August.
Yep. Correct.
And is that just to marry up with the number 6 agenda item which we started talking about? Are those two working in tandem? They're the same entity, if you like, but are they the same? Yep. Is one describing the other's activity? That's what I'm trying to get to.
No.
Through the chair, we struggling to find. And the internet just died. We're
It's a deleted one. It's a deleted one. It's got Appendix 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just in it now.
It is. The content hasn't changed, Murray. There was.
No. Are you?
There was no written.
No, there was no written summary to Appendix 1, so I was just trying to work out why it was there in terms of what was the discussion that you
Yeah.
were keen for us to have. That was all.
There is just a direction from council that a report such like this should go to Audit and Risk for general questions, because the financials for all other council activities are dealt with by council, but this one has special treatment.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Mary going to join us later? Okay. Do you have any questions with that then, Mary?
Sorry, which paper? The numerical one or the wording
The
one?
numerical one.
Well, it was just really, you look through those numbers, and someone just asked a question around the internal rental, and I was just wondering whether there was a discussion that people wanted to have around the various operating profits or losses of the various activities, but it sounds like that paper's just there for noting, not for discussion, if I'm reading the room right.
So it is, but
Correct, at this time, you're correct.
yeah,
Okay, all right, well, that's fine. Okay,
cool.
thank you.
No other questions? Cool, thanks. So you'll be staying, Richard, for later. Thank you. Okay, trans waste, who's going to, you are going to take us through that? I'll hand over to you. I assume everyone has read the report. It took a bit of working through, but yeah.
Good afternoon, and I won't pretend to know all of their data in detail, but trans waste is, we have shares of 3% in trans waste. I regularly bring, or at least twice a year, the dividends we've received from trans waste, and this is their annual report for you to receive as information.
Councillor McMillan.
Thank you, through the chair. Was anyone from Transwaste from the board invited to speak to this report? I know they have offered in the past to come to council to sort of go through things.
Through the chair, no, I didn't do that, but maybe we could invite them for the next dividends or some other meeting.
That would be good, thank you.
I think that's a good idea. Councillor Cameron?
We have 3% of the total Transway shares. Is that based on our rubbish contribution, or how do they work that out?
Through the chair, it's on the shares that we purchased, and so of the 20 million shares, trying to remember how many.
So we could go, where are they sold? On the secondary market? Like, how do you buy these shares?
No, this is they are a CC, council controlled trading operation, organisation, and
Christchurch City Council.
no, Transwaste. Christchurch City Council owns about 39%. Waste Management
So there's
owns
10 million
50%.
shares and we have 600,000 of them.
Million.
But how did we end up with
Oh, sorry,
600,000?
20
That was my
shares, yes.
question.
Yep.
Like, we bought them, okay, but why did we choose 600,000, not?
No,
I don't know, I can't answer that.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
they weren't bought. When
Oh, Leanne just said we purchased them.
Sorry, no, sorry if I did, I used the wrong language. We have shares, we have 600,000 shares.
yeah,
Based presumably on our population or
Yes.
contribution or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
correct,
And then do we get our dividend
based on the
the
3%.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Correct.
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Mr Mayor?
It was set up probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
And
About 15 years ago.
Yes.
yeah, and we got
That's correct.
shares based on our population base at the time because of the amount of rubbish. Selwyn got exactly the same as us because about the same size. Waimakariri's a bit bigger, so they got more shares. Christchurch, a lot bigger, got more shares. And Hiranui, smaller, so got less shares. And it should add up to 50%. And the other 50% is owned by Waste Management, they call it
Waste
now.
Management.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's sort of the background to deal with all our rubbish. Yeah.
And we get a dividend from that.
Correct.
Yes. Councillor Wilson?
In reading this report, it appears that the dividend is very similar to last year, but we were reported that it was less. So I'm just trying to, recently we had a smaller dividend. I asked the question about it, but this dividend looks to be the similar amount to what it's been.
What page are you
Well,
on?
it's $18.3 million plus $5 million, I think they've paid out through the,
15, 18.3 million.
it's sprinkled through the report as it was. So there's their dividend they're paying, which looks to be similar, and then they also had another dividend from winding up some of the earthquake recovery work, I think they did. But those numbers are the same in that report, and I thought we were reported to us earlier in the year in another meeting that it was actually a lesser amount they were paying out as a dividend.
Through the chair, I don't recall that. I knew we meant budget. I don't recall it being less. I'd have to go back and look at the report.
Through Mr. Chair, I'm on page 7 of the agenda, and clause 6 talks about dividends being up compared to 2022, not down.
Isn't there notes in the annual report saying they did an extra dividend to use up imputation credits? Is that confusing things?
That rings a bell. On page 31, it certainly shows that this year's 18.3 mil and last year was 16.4. Note 7.
Councillor Cameron?
This is a random Bob question, so good thing it's, has council considered an alternative way to get rid of our rubbish? Is there an alternative way that would be more cost effective to get rid of our rubbish?
No, this is council's company. This is the method that we have committed to.
Yeah. I'm just asking it just to see.
We've got no alternate way of dealing with rubbish currently.
This operation is one of the most efficient disposers of rubbish that you will find not only in New Zealand but around the world. This is recognised as a very efficient operation.
Even taking into effect the transportation of the rubbish.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we would have any other alternative would still involve transport. We'd have to, rather than take it to Cape Valley, we'd be making inquiries and arrangements to take it to Redruth or somewhere else.
Murray?
Yeah, look, I was just going to say I'd echo that, and anyone who's been fortunate to go to Cape Valley, to the actual site, and it might be worthwhile for some councillors at some point, given the shareholding. It's a fantastic site in terms of you don't expect to see the quality of landscape for a waste, a site that's set up to do what it's done. And it is world class and is acknowledged as such. So, I could sort of emphasise that those points that have just been made are absolutely true.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were invited up at the end of last year, and was it start of this year, one or the other. They've invited us up, Murray, and most councillors took advantage of that to have a look at the facility up there, which is good. Another thing that happens with Transwaste is we get our cartage to Cape Valley subsidised by others, and I think Selwyn does too. We get more. Selwyn does too, because of the distance from the dump. So everyone pays the same cartage.
They equalise out the...
Equalise out, and whoever sits on the joint committee needs to be mindful of that in the future. The Deputy Mayor is mindful of it, because there's other councils who would like to get rid of that equalisation, but it's in the Constitution and it must stay there.
Thank you for that. Rob?
Thank you. Just on the transportation, has rail been considered? Considering a new site out of the industrial area?
Through the chair, it was, so we had this report presented to us by Transwaste at our last landfill meeting in Christchurch, which was probably a good couple of months ago. We had a presentation, and that question comes up every time about rail. I don't think they're at that stage just quite yet, but it is mentioned quite often by some of our committee.
Rob?
Just, has there been a cost comparison done with rail? There hasn't. Perhaps that needs to be looked into then.
I mean, our rail siding's a very new thing, I suppose, so that is creating a new opportunity, so maybe that will become worthwhile investigating. Any further questions on the report? If not, we have a recommendation there that we receive that report. Is someone, Mr Mayor, thank you. Deputy
I'll
Mayor,
second.
seconds. All those in favour, please say aye. Carried, thank you. Right. That brings us to the end of our open part of the meeting. Would someone like to move, please? We go into committee. Councillor McMillan, Councillor Cameron, all those in favour? Carried, thank you.